past little while has been a time of self-introspection and growth. These newsletters have been very directed towards self-ownership, and I've honestly been delighted with the response. We've kind of dug into one of our bigger taglines, which is own your shit, and I was really just delighted when my dad embraced that one so fully that he would slip it into just regular daily conversation. And I just found myself giggling and feeling so good and grateful for that moment and that opportunity. We have another tagline that I absolutely love, and it is permission to be you always. Not sometimes, not most of the time, always. And in all ways, permission to be you. This lesson comes around every so often as this guidepost and this beautiful reminder that I am on the right path and that nothing needs to change. There's no adjustment needed for perceived opinions of others or discomfort. It is exactly where I need to be in this moment at this time, and I love it. My favorite go-to tea has these little tags on the bags, and the tags have these little inspirational notes. And sometimes they're messages for the universe, sometimes they're nudges, and sometimes they are just a spark for me and these musings. And this one happened to be a big spark, and I absolutely loved it. It said, I'm going to read this: care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. And that was by Lao Tzu. Isn't that great? Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. When I read it, I literally took a picture of my tea with this mug and this saying on it. And I was so immensely grateful for this reminder and the nudge. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Our lives are filled with these constant wins, these fabulous moments where we just have to fist pump the air and we're so excited and so proud. We have to celebrate in some way, shape, or form, whether that's going out with friends or if you're alone and you're just like, yes, I rock, this is amazing and this is wonderful. And I love those moments. Those moments are such a gift because we've achieved something fantastic and we have really been true to ourselves in that opportunity. There are these other times where I'm sure you can think of all of the many emotional or relationships that you have in life that pertain to this other quote. This being a prisoner to other people's thoughts or expectations or impressions or judgments. Family, work, friends, acquaintances, just sit there for a second and I'm sure you can come up with a whole bunch of them. And all of these relationships, many of them are going to keep you exactly where, who, and how you are with those relationships. There will be some relationships that encourage you and nudge you to be authentically you. And yet there are the other ones where either we've learned that they're going to judge us or learned a specific way to be with them. And because we have learned that way of being with them, we have wrapped those bonds around us and said, okay, with them, I'm always going to be there. And it's hard to be something different. It's hard to express ourselves in a more authentic and true to ourselves way of being. They keep us confined. They keep us from being our truest, most authentic selves. The fear of judgment, the fear of loss of acceptance, the fear of being alone. Each one of these relationships has their own little, whether it be just a thin rope or a chain, whatever that is that holds us into place. Your new understanding, your new personal way of being, your new life yearns to come out and yearns to share itself and just be like, look at this, isn't this amazing? I am so joyful and so at peace in the way that I'm living, or I can't share that because I'm not so sure that people are going to like it. I'm not sure they're going to accept me in that way, in that state of being. So the discomfort and the fear of losing acceptance and approval keeps us dimming our lights. We choose to hide. Do we hide a lot? Or do we hide just a little bit? Like we show ourselves, but we're still hiding a little bit? And real honestly, it doesn't matter because hiding is hiding. That means a part of us is not felt comfortable being fully expressed. And so we hold back. We're cautious. The choice means that we are a prisoner of what they think. Regardless as to whether it's hiding a little bit or hiding a lot, we're still a prisoner of perceived thoughts and judgments and expectations. I know that I have bent to this throughout my life. I absolutely know this, and I could sit there and tell you all of these times that I have chosen to dim my light. I have chosen to hold myself back. I have chosen to just be a little bit smaller. Because if I'm smaller, then I'm not going to be as obvious to judge. I'm not going to be the one that people pick on. I'm constantly uncovering these areas that I've done that. And I find myself that I embrace myself in one light. I embrace the joy of just standing in my truth in one light. And it feels so good, that confidence and that freedom and that light and joy and just being able to say, yeah, this is so cool. Aren't you excited? Don't you want to rejoice with me because I feel so good in this moment? And I embrace that and I just hold it true. And inevitably, because I am so much lighter, literally and physically, it shines a light in a different area in my life where I am holding back. And so I'm constantly finding those little ties, those little binds, those little ropes that help to hold me in this area or that area. It's not just one space. It's throughout our lives. You'll find it constantly. And it's this learning thing. Like I said last week, it's about you learn something. You learn how to heal this way. And you try it on, you apply it, you see how it goes, and then you adjust it a little bit because you realize that bond is still there, that binding is still holding you back. So you adjust it a little bit, you learn a little bit, you apply that, and maybe that one cuts that bind. So I'm constantly learning and I'm constantly seeing these new spaces and I'm shedding new light on the other ways that I have been held back, that I have refrained from being authentically me. And each time I do, I become more true and I am so much happier and I am so much more just confident and at peace. I've given myself permission to be me in those moments. Sometimes it's like I'm testing the waters. I've just barely put my toes in and I say, what do you think? And I wait for their reaction. And that tempers how much I'm going to hide my light and how much I'm going to hold back. And other times, it's like the door has been flung open and I just run through with abandon and I dive into the deep end and I just can't help it because I have so fully embraced myself in that arena of my life that I just don't care. And it feels so wonderful. And I get to embrace the truth and reality of me in that space, in that moment. It's beautiful. This tea bag came at a perfect time. It came at a time when I released some really heavy bonds. After wrestling with how do I let go of these bonds and how do I be true to myself and find that joy instead of feeling so oppressed, I realized after wrestling with that fear that the approval that I needed the most was actually my own approval. It didn't matter that this other person was there. Even though the binds I felt like were from that person, they were my own fear of judgment, and I needed to accept myself. This valuable insight was ridiculously amazing. Because in that moment, I just sat back and I said, yeah, I approve of myself. I am going to give myself to be permission. I am going to give myself permission to be me in this relationship always. They need to accept me, not as what they perceive me to be, but as me. And they did. And it was beautiful, and I was so grateful, and yet I realized it was my permission that I needed, not theirs. Permission to be me always is a rally cry for me. It is a personal anthem. It is a constant reminder that I need to strive to give myself permission to be me. It's taken a long time. And there are still areas, like I said, there are still areas that I see where those binds are. I'm still working at it. I am a work in progress. They're coming. Those binds are falling away. And it's beautiful, and I feel wonderful. And because I'm finding that gift for myself, I am constantly encouraging other people to find that same gift as well. And I really want to be one of the people that just has that rally cry for you. Hey, be yourself. You have permission from me to be yourself always, not sometimes, not every now and then, not occasionally, always. And I am here to root you on. I am here to support you. I am so excited for you to find that freedom and joy that comes from you saying, you know what? This is me. And this is how I feel most joyful. This is how I feel most at peace. This is how I feel most comfortable, is right like this. And I pray that you can just accept me. And if you can't accept me, that's okay, because I accept me exactly how I am right here, right now, in everything that I do. I sincerely thank you for coming along with me on my journey. This is an amazing journey, and I'm so grateful for life and the way that it has come around and given me so many beautiful opportunities to connect with people who are owning their own shit and giving themselves permission to be themselves and just growing in this amazing, enlightening way. So thank you for coming along with me on my journey, but most importantly, I would like to thank you sincerely for inviting me along on yours as well.